Hello, everyone. Thank you, Sarmaya, for giving me the opportunity to talk about my book and my upcoming project. Um, I will be talking to you about my book, Surat, Fall of a Port, Rise of a Prince, which was published by Rowley Books in 2017, and then subsequently by Amberley Books in Britain under a new title called The Prince Who Beat the Empire. The book is about the fall of Surat, the annexation of Surat by the English East India Company, and the subsequent campaign for justice led by the Prince of Surat in Victorian England. Not very many people know that Surat was annexed by the English East India Company forcibly. Much has been written about the annexation of Awadh in 1856. A lot has been written about Richard Wellesley's victory over Tipu Sultan. An enormous amount has been written about the resistance by Rani of Jhansi, but not much has been told about how Surat was annexed. Surat was forcibly annexed, by Richard Wellesley in 1800. A treaty was signed, which was further violated in 1842, stripping the Nawab family of their personal estates and even stopping their income. What happened next was something truly fascinating. The Prince of Surat went to England and sued the English East India Company on their own home turf. And in 1856, he led the greatest legal campaign against the East India Company in the House of Commons in Britain. Not very many people knew that Meer Jafar Ali Khan, who was the Prince of Surat, was the only Indian prince to defeat the English East India Company in the House of Commons by tabling a bill called the Nawab of Surat Treaty Bill for the reinstatement of the family's income and the private estates. It was called the Nawab of Surat Treaty Bill, and it was fought intensely on both sides. The English East India Company quite dramatically pitching their members of parliament and their lawyers to ensure that an Indian doesn't win in parliament, and the Indian prince fighting with his lawyers in the House of Parliament in Britain to win back what was rightfully his and his daughters. So this was a book that I thought would basically bring to light an untold story, which had basically consumed me for many years. And since I have written this book, I'm currently working on my next project, which has actually come to fruition in many ways. But after the pandemic, hopefully we'll see it being published by Rowley Books. It's a book on Sufism, but it's not an academic book on Sufism. It's a book which basically, through a fictional character, aims to bring to life the philosophies and the lost passion for science and love for mankind through the philosophies of the Sufis. And that book should be something which I would suspect would be published at the end of the pandemic. It's a book that's been with me once again for many years. I believe Sufism is the lost voice of compassion, and hopefully, people would enjoy reading, a narration through a fictional character and through his vulnerabilities, the resurrection and the rebuilding of a new life through the philosophies and the poetry of the Sufis. I do hope that you fine people will get a copy of my current book, which has been published, as I mentioned, Surat, Fall of a Port, Rise of a Prince. It's available in all leading bookshops in India and Britain, also on Amazon. And as I said, it's the untold story of the annexation of India's greatest port and the greatest legal campaign led by Meer Jafar Ali Khan in Britain. What happens to the Indian prince, who also happens to fall in love with a British actress, is something that I will leave to you to find out when you read the book. Thank you, and stay safe.